The storm hit the ship with great force. Struggling to survive, everybody started screaming and panicking. They had no idea what had caused the sea to trouble them so much, throwing their cargo into the water. But no matter what they did, the storm only got worse.
It slipped hard! Wake up! There's a storm breaking the hull!
Jonah was below the ship, completely unfazed and in a deep sleep. The captain woke him and told him to pray to his God. The sailors cast lots to find who caused the storm. The lot falls on Jonah, and all eyes turn to him. A heavy silence fell in Jonah as fear filled his heart. Jonah told them the truth about running away from God. The wind howled louder as his words filled the air.
Better than sinking! Move!
The sailors didn't want to throw him into the sea, but the storm became so strong they had no choice. They ran to Jonah to hold him.
He's over there! Move! Help me some waves! These are okay! Hold on! No, please don't! Over the side!
They lifted Jonah and threw him into the raging water. They stood there clueless and not sure of what to do next. They were hoping the sea would calm down. At once, the sea became calm and quiet as light started shining through the ocean waves. The sailors stood in shock as the waves settled. They bowed down, knowing God had done this. Jonah sank deeper and deeper into the dark ocean. Bubbles rose as he disappeared into the deep. From the darkness, a huge fish came toward him. It opened its mouth and swallowed him. Inside the fish, Jonah lay in complete darkness. He knew there was no way to escape.
In my distress,
Then Jonah began to pray from deep inside.
from deep in the realm of
His
the dead,
voice
I called
echoed
my
in the
friend,
silence around him.
hurled me into rags. Now I disobeyed.
He thought about his fear and his disobedience. Tears fell as he decided to change. Jonah thanked God for saving his life. Slowly, hope replaced his fear. Time passed as Jonah waited inside the fish. He listened to the steady movement of the ocean, not knowing what to do, but having faith in God.
You have served your purpose, great fish. Now release Jonah onto the dry land.
God commands the fish to release Jonah. The fish threw Jonah onto the land. He fell to the ground, gasping for air. Jonah stood up, weak but alive. Now, he was ready to obey God. He ran to the nearest village he saw. He entered the great city of Nineveh. People moved around as he began to speak.
The Lord is merciful to those who turn to him.
He warned them that destruction was coming. His voice was strong and full of urgency. The people were shocked and afraid. Right away, they began to turn from their ways. They began kneeling and repenting. Even the king listened and humbled himself. He told the whole city to fast and repent. The city began to change completely. People turned away from their wrong actions. The city looked much brighter and happier.
I have seen your hearts. The destruction is withheld.
People listened as God withheld the destruction.
Lord, why spare this wicked city?
But Jonah became angry about this. He did not understand God's compassion, although he had no right to judge. Jonah sat outside the city under the burning sun, watching from a distance. He waited quietly, hoping to see what would happen next. God caused a plant to grow quickly and spread its leaves over Jonah. It gave him cool shade, protecting him from the burning sun. The next day, the plant died and withered away. Jonah became upset once again. He was furious once more with God. God used the plant to teach Jonah a lesson. He showed him the value of every life in Nineveh.
Know their right hand from their left?
Jonah thought deeply about what God had done. And the story ends with a lesson about compassion. Two travelers approach the gates of a dark and wicked city as distant flames flicker against the horizon. The air is thick with dust, and something feels deeply wrong. Inside the city, people shout, celebrate, and lose control in chaos. The travelers stand still, quietly watching the corruption around them. At the city gate, Lot notices the two strangers from afar.
It is not safe here.
We seek Lot. Are you he?
I am. Come quickly to my house.
Lot bows low, in respect before the travelers in the open street. The strangers remain still, carefully watching his actions.
Come, friends. My home is just ahead. You will be safe there.
Lot offers them safety and points toward his home with concern.
Follow me. We will follow. Please, eat and drink. You are welcome in my house.
Inside the house, food is prepared and placed before the travelers.
I can do. This is the house of Lot. He harbors the strangers.
Bring them out!
Outside, a group of men slowly gathers in the dark streets. The crowd grows larger and surrounds the house completely. Tension builds as they prepare to force their way inside.
My brothers, I implore you! There is no justice in this violence! Stay back! You shall not pass!
Lot steps outside and shuts the door firmly behind him. He faces the angry crowd and tries to calm them down. Inside the house, the travelers begin to glow with soft light. Lot remains outside, unaware of what is about to happen. A sudden burst of bright light shines through the doorway. The crowd freezes in shock. The men are struck with blindness and begin to stumble. They fall over each other, confused and unable to see. They have no idea what just happened. Inside, the travelers reveal their true power.
The Lord has seen your righteousness in this place. Prepare to depart, for judgment comes upon the city. Lot, the outcry against this city is great. Its sin is grievous.
They warn Lot that the city will soon be destroyed completely.
The Lord has sent us to save you. Hurry! We must leave now!
What is happening?
Lot rushes through the house, calling out to his family. They hesitate, confused and unsure what is happening.
Get out of this place! The Lord is about to destroy the city! You're joking, right?
Lot tells his sons-in-law about what is coming, but they laugh at him.
Whatever you say. The light comes. We cannot delay.
Dawn begins to rise slowly over the city of Sodom. A soft light appears, but danger is getting closer. The travelers quickly grab Lot and his family by their arms. They pull them out of the house without waiting. Outside the city, the family stops and looks back for a moment. The travelers point forward and tell them to keep moving. The city grows quiet behind them under a darkening sky. Thick, heavy clouds gather over the city from above. Everything becomes still, as if waiting for judgment. Fire and destruction begin to form in the sky above Sodom. The city below stands frozen in fear and silence. Flames begin to fall from the sky onto the city below. People scream and run as chaos spreads everywhere. Lot's family runs quickly as the city burns behind them. But his wife begins to slow down and fall behind. She turns her head, looking back at the burning city. The others keep moving forward without stopping. Suddenly, her body becomes still and stiff in place. In a moment, she turns into a pillar of salt. A silent pillar of salt stands where she once stood. Lot and his daughters keep walking without looking back. The city of Sodom is completely destroyed by fire. Smoke rises high into the sky as everything collapses. From far away, Lot and his daughters stand on a hill. They watch quietly as the smoke rises and the story ends. A man traveled alone on the long, dusty road from Jerusalem to Jericho. The hot sun beats down as he walks, unaware of the danger ahead.
He's close. Get ready.
Now! Jump out! What is this?
Hidden among the rocks, robbers waited silently for the right moment. They watched closely and jumped on him when the time came. The man didn't know what to do, so he waited for them patiently. At last, they attacked him and took everything he had.
No time! Move!
Leaving him behind, they disappear down the road. The man lies injured and weak, barely able to move. Alone on the road, he struggles to stay conscious. One day, when one of the priests decided to take a walk, he saw what looked like a body laying far away. So he walked to the body to check it out. He saw a man laying down injured, but instead of helping, the priest walks past on the other side. He leaves the injured man behind without looking back. Later, a Levite arrives and notices the man lying there. The Levite hesitates, unsure and conflicted. Then he turns away and walks off quickly. Once again, the road is quiet and empty. The injured man groans softly, still alone. A Samaritan rides along the road on a donkey. He notices something unusual ahead. He sees the injured man lying there.
Hold on, friend. I'm here to help.
Concern fills his heart, and he stops immediately.
Let's get you
He checks out what had happened to the man. The Samaritan stands beside the man, looking down at him. Without hesitation, he prepares to help.
Rest easy. I will help you. Thank you. This oil will cleanse the wound. I am in your debt.
The man is now bandaged but still weak on the ground. The Samaritan prepares to lift him up. He supports the injured man and helps him stand. Slowly, he brings him toward the donkey. The man thought all faith was lost, but when the man came and saved him, he realized God truly helped him. The man sits on the donkey while the Samaritan stands beside him. Together, they prepare to continue the journey. As evening approaches, they arrive near an inn. The innkeeper stands at the entrance watching them arrive. The Samaritan urgently explains the situation.
Bring him inside. Weary. Easy now, friend. We're nearly there. In we go. A warm bed awaits.
The injured man rests on a bed inside the inn. The Samaritan stays by his side, caring for him. Morning light fills the room as the man rests peacefully. The Samaritan prepares to leave, but ensures he is safe.
Here are the coins as we discussed. Thank you. This will cover the expenses.
The Samaritan pays the owner for all the expenses. The Samaritan stands at the doorway, ready to leave, as he looks back at the injured man one last time. Behind him, the injured man rests safely inside. He walks back onto the quiet road as the sun rises higher. His journey continues, but his kindness remains behind. Inside the inn, the injured man sleeps peacefully. Nearby, the innkeeper stands quietly watching over him. He remains close, making sure the man is safe. The man wakes and slowly sits up, feeling stronger. Though still bandaged, he begins to recover. He looks out toward the road, thinking deeply. Gratitude fills his heart for the one who helped him. Night Babylon began to fall. The city was in chaos. Soldiers rushed through the streets as the enemy broke in.
My brothers, the time for hesitation is over. We march at dawn.
In no time, Daniel became a great leader in the kingdom. Few in the kingdom loved him. The rest hated him. King Darius watches Daniel carefully in meetings. He sees that Daniel can be trusted. The king plans to put Daniel above all other leaders because of his bravery and intelligence. But this made the other officials very upset.
Daniel has risen too high. The king favors him. We cannot allow it. We must find a way.
Jealousy grows quickly among the officials. They begin to talk secretly about Daniel. They try to find something wrong with Daniel.
We must act before his influence spreads. A trap. He cannot obey a decree against his God.
The officials become frustrated and angry. They realize Daniel's faith is the only way to trap him.
Downfall. We have him now.
They meet in secret to make a plan. Their idea is smart, but very dangerous. They want to set a new law with the king.
My king, your wisdom lights our path. Great king, your strength is our fortress.
They go to the king and act loyal. They try to make him feel important.
We must honor the king above all. A new law. No one can pray to anyone except the king. A bold decree. It will unite the kingdom. It is settled. My lord, this law will ensure justice for all. It is well crafted, sire. I agree. Let it be so.
The law cannot be changed once it is signed.
What is this new rule? We must obey!
The new rule spreads across the land.
Daniel, hear this new law. None may pray save to the king.
Daniel hears about the law. He knows it could cost him his life. He looks over at Jerusalem at the absolute chaos happening.
O Lord my God, hear my prayer.
Daniel kneels down and prays to God. He does not stop, even though it is dangerous.
Your Majesty, we bring urgent news. Daniel has broken the royal decree. He defies your law.
They accuse Daniel of breaking the law. The king realizes he has been tricked. He feels upset and worried for Daniel. Yet there is nothing he can do about it since the law has to be followed. All day, the king tries to save Daniel.
Approach, Daniel. The hour is late. I am here, my lord. Daniel, it is with a heavy heart that I speak to you. You have remained faithful, and I hope your God will save you.
The king speaks with sadness to Daniel. Guards take Daniel to the lion's den. Daniel must follow the law, even though he is scared. But he still stays calm, knowing God will save him. The den is dark, deep, and dangerous. The lions move around, ready to attack. Daniel is pushed toward the edge. Everyone watches in silence as they try to push Daniel off.
Let this be a lesson to all.
A large stone is placed over the opening. The den is sealed for the night. The king watches in sorrow as they close the den. Inside, the lions walk around Daniel. Suddenly, everything becomes calm. The lions lie down and do not hurt him. Daniel stays safe all night.
Daniel, are you alive? Answer me. Daniel, it's the king. Speak if you can. Daniel, please let me know you're safe.
Daniel answers, safe and unharmed. Everyone sees that God protected him. The king watches him in joy and happiness.
Take my hand. Hold on. I'm trying. The lions. Almost there. One more pull.
Both of them became great friends after that. They all graduate him in happiness, as the work of God truly worked.
Hail, King Ahasuerus! We bring urgent tidings from
The palace is in chaos as soldiers run through the halls.
Vashti, you will obey my command.
I will not.
Queen Vashti refuses to obey the king. Everyone is shocked by her bold choice.
Decree from the king! Hear and obey!
A message from the king is sent across the land. The messengers deliver it to the whole town. Young women are brought to the palace. Esther stands among them, quiet and calm.
To the palace.
She is prepared for anything. Esther is prepared with oils and beautiful clothes. She looks in the mirror, ready to meet the king. Esther walks into the throne room. The king looks at her with favor. She bows, her head as a sign of respect and of admiration to the king.
I crown you queen. May your reign be long and just.
The king lifts the crown above her head. Esther becomes the new queen. Mordecai sits at the city gate, watching closely.
He is wise.
He hears something strange from two guards.
The plan must
Rumors and gossiping are very common in the town.
Take this scroll to Queen Esther. A conspiracy threatens our people. I will not fail, my lord. Go quickly. The fate of our people depends on it.
The king learns about the secret plot.
Present.
The gods are punished for their plan.
Seize them. No! You're loyal. Take them away.
Haman, a villain, also known as Agagite, walks proudly through the streets. People bow down as he passes.
Bow before me, Mordecai.
I will not.
But Mordecai does not bow.
The one true God.
Haman becomes very angry at his rejection.
Your Majesty.
Haman makes a plan to destroy Mordecai's people.
They are a threat to your
The
kingdom.
king agrees without knowing the truth.
Your ring. I will issue the decree to destroy them. Take it.
The decree is sealed. Messengers, ride out. Let the word spread to every corner.
The order is written and sent everywhere.
The future of the
The
realm
people
depends
do
on
not
it.
know what is coming. Mordecai cries out in sadness.
To us.
The people begin to feel fear.
Do not be silenced in their power.
Esther hears that Mordecai is upset.
Queen, what is your
She wants to understand what is happening.
And bring word of his grief.
At once, my queen.
Esther learns the truth from Mordecai. She gets very upset and disappointed, but she knows deep down she must do something. Esther feels afraid because going to the king without being called could mean death. Even so, she chooses to be brave and trusts that she must take this risk.
My people, let us fast and pray together. Seek the Lord's favor in our time of trial.
Esther asks all her people to fast and pray for 3 days and nights.
My Lord and King, I stand before you.
Approach.
After the fast, Esther walks toward the king's throne, risking her life.
My Lord and
The king sees
I come
her
before you
and lifts his golden scepter,
Esther, my queen.
showing that
Your
she
presence
is safe.
always welcome.
She invites the king and Haman to a special banquet she has
And
prepared.
to our enduring reign. My king, my conjonium, let the feast commence.
Indeed, to our shared triumph.
To prosperity and joy.
Haman leaves the banquet feeling proud and important.
Haman, your position is
He
right.
brags to his friends about his power, but his heart is full of pride. That night, Haman orders a tall gallows to be built for Mordecai. He plans to have Mordecai killed the very next day. Meanwhile, the king cannot sleep and asks for the royal records to be read.
Against you.
He discovers that Mordecai once saved his life, but was never rewarded. Early in the morning, Haman comes to speak to the king about his
Bring
plan.
a petition.
But the king asks him how to honor a man who has done something great. Haman thinks the king is talking about him, so he suggests a grand honor. Instead, he must lead Mordecai through the city and honor him publicly. At the second banquet, Esther bravely tells the king the full truth. She reveals that Haman's plan is meant to destroy her and her people.
Haman, your treachery ends now.
The king becomes filled with anger and walks out into the garden.
Take him away.
When he returns, he orders that Haman be taken away immediately. Haman is taken to the gallows that he built for Mordecai, while people scream in joy.
Let the celebration.
In this episode, a broken world spirals into madness, and one man is chosen before it all ends.
This is not the way.
The world had become filled with violence, and people turned against each other.
Chaos.
Everywhere Noah looked, chaos and corruption ruled the land. But Noah was different, a man who still walked with God. One day, Noah cried out in the silence, searching for guidance. And in that stillness, God spoke to him. God told Noah that the earth would be cleansed by a great flood. But Noah and his family would be saved.
Will be saved. I will obey.
He was given an impossible task to build a massive ark. a vessel that would carry life through the coming storm. So he ran to tell his family.
The hour of judgment is near. We must have faith.
But Noah, we are afraid.
Trust in the promise. Build with me.
He urged them to trust, though afraid they chose to believe
Trust the
him.
plan.
Without delay, they began preparing for what was coming. The empty land would soon hold something extraordinary. Noah laid the first piece of wood with unwavering faith. This was the beginning of the ark.
This is the beginning of the ark.
Day after day, they built as the structure slowly grew. What once seemed impossible began to take shape. Everyone struggled but were determined.
Look at him building this ridiculous thing.
People gathered to watch, laughing and mocking Noah. They could not understand what he was doing. But Noah never stopped, not even for a moment. He trusted the warning he had been given. The ark grew larger than anything the world had seen. It stood as a sign of what was to come. Everybody were in joy that their hard work paid off. As the work continued, the skies began to change. Dark clouds slowly gathered on the horizon.
Every detail matters for survival.
Noah sealed the ark, preparing it for the waters ahead. He worked non-stop and wasn't going to stop anytime soon. At last, the ark stood complete, a towering shelter against the coming flood.
People, hear me! The flood is upon, so go out for its lane!
Noah called out one final time, warning the people. But no one chose to listen. Then something incredible began to happen. Something that has never happened. Animals started coming from every direction. They came in pairs, just as God had commanded. Calm and guided, they moved towards safety. The ark filled with creatures of every kind, each one finding its place inside. They rested and left everybody in shock. Above them, birds filled the sky in great numbers. Even they were drawn to the ark.
The supplies are ready. Let's move.
Careful on the ramp, it's steep.
Noah's family brought in food and supplies.
Must prepare.
They prepared for the days ahead.
Restless.
Then the sky finally broke. The first drops of rain began to fall. The rain grew heavier with each passing moment. Panic spread across the land and the village.
Hurry! The ark will protect us!
Noah and his family entered the ark,
Family, trust in the
trusting that they were being protected.
Thank you, Lord.
Then the door of the ark was shut, and there was no turning back. They were all ready for God's prophecy. Rain poured without stopping, covering the earth. The flood had begun. The ark lifted as the waters grew deeper. It rose above the chaos below. Waves crashed as the storm raged on, but the ark remained steady. Soon, even the highest mountains disappeared. The world was covered in water. Soon no land was seen, even from a distance. And the ark drifted alone across the endless sea, carrying the hope of a new beginning. Inside the ark, Noah stood quietly, gazing out over the endless waters. There was nothing left of the world he once knew. The waters slowly began to recede from the earth. Hope quietly returned with each passing day. The ark at last landed in the mountains of Ararat, in nowadays Armenia. The journey was not over, but a new beginning had begun. In the ancient town, as everybody were panicking, Lazarus was inside the house, very sick and not moving much. His body is weak, and his breathing is slow and heavy.
We must not lose faith, Mary.
Martha stands nearby, trying to stay strong but clearly very worried. Mary stands beside her, her face full of sadness and fear. Mary kneels beside Lazarus, holding his hand and praying softly.
You cannot leave now. They will be caught.
I must. The message is vital.
The messenger gets told to go talk to Jesus, so he runs to him as quickly as possible. The messenger runs fast across rocky hills and rough paths without stopping. The bright sun shines over him as he rushes to reach Jesus in time.
Master, I came as fast as I could. The news is urgent.
Peace, my friend. What troubles you?
The messenger arrives out of breath and tells him about Lazarus. Jesus listens carefully but does not rush or panic at all. The disciples look at each other, confused and unsure why he waits. Jesus stays where he is, standing quietly under the bright open sky. Time slowly passes as he chooses not to go right away. Back in Bethany, Lazarus lies completely still on the bed. Martha and Mary stand frozen, filled with deep sadness and fear. More villagers gather outside the house as they hear the news. Soft crying and quiet voices fill the air all around them. Lazarus is now wrapped carefully in burial clothes by the men. Everyone stands around in silence, full of grief. The tomb is carved into the stone just outside the village. Men carry Lazarus slowly toward it with heavy hearts. They place Lazarus gently inside the dark and quiet tomb. A large stone sits nearby, ready to close the entrance. The stone is rolled in front of the tomb to seal it shut. The people stand in silence, knowing he is gone. Days pass as the sun rises and sets over the village. People continue to mourn and visit the grieving sisters. Jesus finally begins walking toward Bethany with his disciples. Dust rises under their feet as they travel the long road. Martha hears that Jesus is coming and quickly runs to meet him.
Peace be with you.
She reaches him with hope and sadness in her heart.
Take me to him.
Martha speaks to Jesus, her voice filled with emotion and pain. She still believes he has power, even in this moment. Mary stays behind, sitting quietly with the people around her.
Mary, do not run from us.
I cannot bear it.
Mary suddenly stands up and runs to Jesus, crying, crying. Many people follow her, wondering what will happen.
Peace, my child.
Thank you, Lord.
Mary falls at Jesus' feet, overwhelmed with sorrow and tears.
Rise again.
Jesus sees her pain and is deeply moved inside.
In the life.
Jesus walks toward the tomb where Lazarus was buried. The stone still stands in front, blocking the entrance.
For they will see God.
Jesus tells the men to move the stone away from the tomb.
Together, push.
They hesitate at first, unsure and afraid, but at last they get it out of the way. The crowd watches closely, unsure of what Jesus will do next. Jesus speaks with strong authority and calm power.
Laz, come forth!
Jesus looks into the tomb and raises his voice loudly. Inside the tomb, Lazarus lies wrapped in cloth without movement. Suddenly, something begins to change. Lazarus appears at the entrance, still wrapped in burial clothes. The crowd looks on in shock and disbelief. Lazarus stands alive again as people begin to move toward him. Jesus stands calmly as joy and amazement fill the crowd.
Is too heavy.
The story of Ehud is during the Israel times. Many call him the deliverer of Israel. Ehud was a left-handed man from Israel, different from most, but chosen for a special purpose. God had given him a mission, one that would require courage, patience, and perfect timing.
Move! King Ehud awaits!
For many years, the people of Israel lived in pain under a cruel and powerful ruler.
Cannot endure this!
That ruler was King Eglon of Moab, a man who lived in wealth, comfort, and pride. But Ehud had made a careful and dangerous plan that no one else knew about. He quietly hid a sharp dagger on his belt. Soon, Ehud joined a group of men who were sent to bring gifts and gold to the king. Together, they walked toward the palace. When they arrived, Ehud stepped forward and bowed respectfully before the king. Even as he showed honor, his eyes stayed alert, watching everything around him.
Ah, a fine tribute. It pleases me greatly.
The king smiled as he saw the gifts. Greed filled his eyes as he took them.
This will fill my coffers well.
Ehud then turned and began to leave with the others, just as expected. But suddenly, he stopped and slowly looked back toward the king.
I have a secret message for you, O king.
Ehud said quietly. The king raised his hand, wanting to hear more.
Servants, leave the room at once. I require solitude.
The king ordered all his servants to leave the room at once. One by one, they walked out. The doors closed behind them with a heavy sound, sealing the quiet room. Now, Ehud stood alone with the king, and the moment had come.
My king, I bring a secret message.
Ehud stepped closer, lowering his voice, as if sharing something important.
From God?
The king leaned forward,
Tell me.
curious and completely unaware of the danger. I have a message from God, Ehud said. The king began to rise from his throne. Ehud quickly reached for his dagger as the king stood there with shock. The king immediately panicked and called him out for treachery. Before the king could react, Ehud struck. The king staggered, then collapsed to the ground. Ehud stepped back, breathing hard. Without wasting even a second, Ehud rushed to the doors of the room. He shut them tightly and locked them from the outside. Then Ehud quietly made his way through a side passage, staying calm and focused. No one noticed him as he walked away and escaped the palace.
The doors are locked. Locked, but we just came from there.
After some time, the servants returned and found the doors still locked. They didn't know what to do.
The king must be resting now.
They assumed the king was resting and did not want to be disturbed.
We will wait.
So they stood there patiently.
The hour is late. We must enter. But what if the master is in a rage? He has been silent too long. Enough. We cannot delay any longer. Look there. What is that?
When they stepped inside, they saw the king lying on the floor. Shock filled their faces, and they stepped back in fear. Meanwhile, Ehud had already escaped far into the hill country. He moved quickly across the land, putting distance between himself and danger. Then Ehud took a trumpet and blew it loudly, and the sound echoed across the land.
Men of Israel, the enemy is near. We must strike now. We are ready, Ehud!
Men began to gather around him, ready to follow his lead into battle.
For our people! Follow me, for the Lord has given victory.
He told them to follow him because God had given them victory. The people listened, filled with courage and ready to move.
Hold on!
Together, they rushed to take control of the crossings of the Jordan River.
Israel has triumphed!
The army of Israel fought and defeated the Moabites that day. Victory spread across the land, and fear was gone. After that, the land finally had peace for many years. And Ehud stood quietly.
Strong winds blow hard across the golden fields, and people run in fear as animals scatter everywhere. This man is Job, and he lives a good and peaceful life with many blessings all around him. He has a loving family, great wealth. In heaven, many holy beings stand before God. A dark figure is there, watching quietly. The dark figure speaks and questions Job's faith. This is Satan, the accuser.
Blessed be his name.
Job lives in peace and does not know what is coming. A shadow passes over his life. A servant runs to Job with terrible news. All the animals are gone.
All of them? This is a great loss.
Another servant comes, shaking with fear. Fire fell from the sky and destroyed everything.
Flames rain down on us. We have to get out of here!
A third servant arrives in panic. Enemies came and took everything left. One last servant speaks with sadness. Job's children are gone.
Children are gone. Gone? No! How can this be?
Job stands still, full of pain and loss, but he does not give up. Job falls to his knees and looks to heaven. He chooses to worship God.
Takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
In heaven, Satan returns again. He wants to test Job more.
Silence me. I challenge your order once more.
Job is still alive, but does not know what will happen. A new test is coming for him. Job sits quietly before the pain begins. Soon his body will suffer. Job is now covered in painful sores. He sits in ashes and suffers deeply. Job's wife stands beside him in sadness. She tells him to give up.
How can we? Curse God and be done with this.
I cannot.
3 friends come to see Job. They are shocked by what they see. They sit with Job in silence for many days. No one speaks at all. Job finally begins to speak. He cries out in deep pain.
The pain is unbearable. I cry out, but there is no answer.
Eliphaz speaks first to Job.
It is a punishment sent by God for our sins.
He says suffering comes from sin.
This is the path to redemption.
Elihu now speaks with strong words. He says suffering can teach us something.
Justice is blind to favor.
Zophar speaks harshly to Job. He says Job must be guilty.
Oh, if only God would speak, he would tell you a secret of wisdom.
Job answers them with strong faith. He says he has done nothing wrong. A young man named Elihu has been listening. Now he steps forward to speak. Bildad speaks with firm belief. He says God is always fair. The sky grows dark and a storm begins. The wind and lightning fill the air. A powerful whirlwind forms before Job. Something great is about to happen. God speaks from the storm. His voice is strong and full of power. Job feels small and humbled. He understands he cannot know everything. In the end, Job is blessed again. His life is full of peace and joy.